It's Oscars week, so let's go ahead and start making some predictions and figure out who I think is going to take home all the awards next Sunday.
And the Oscar for Best Picture is presented to...
And the Oscar goes 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 to...
And the Oscar goes...
And the Oscar goes... And the Oscar goes to...
Now, a few things before we start getting to predictions. In the link description below, and I'll pin in the comments, I opened up on ESPN ABC their own version of a pick'em fantasy type thing where you can go in, make your own predictions, and you can join Josh Does Movies group, and we can see who does the best. Whoever does the best score will get the shout out from me whenever I go over the Oscar results. If you've been liking the content I've been doing in February, leave a like, leave a subscription. I'm putting a lot more work into this channel. Right now, it's showing about 8 to 10% of the people watching are subscribed, and about 90% of the people aren't. So if you've seen the channel and you've liked it, if you've been a returning viewer, hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 500 subs by the end of the year. Maybe see if I can turn on like a monetization button for myself. But without further ado, let's get into predictions. I'm going to start with a category off the bat that is up in the air, and that's Best Visual Effects. The nominees you see here are things like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Napoleon, The Creator, and Godzilla Minus One. And one thing you'll see on this graphic throughout the whole entire video today are asterisk marks. A movie that has one asterisk is a movie that I nominated for a Joshker, my Best of 2023 video, which you can check out on the channel. A 2 asterisk nominee is what won this category for me, because I put on my own style of Oscars where I put my personal nominees and my own winner's hat on. So here we see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, The Creator, and Godzilla Minus One all nominated for me, and then Godzilla Minus One was my predicted winner. Now, when it comes to this category and why it's so out in the air, there's been no really big precursors to know who's going to win. The BAFTAs went to Poor Things for this category, and none of these movies are really players anywhere else. Now, I think there's 2 clear frontrunners. I think you have Godzilla Minus One, which had an amazing word of mouth campaign prior to nominations coming out, and I think it's likely a frontrunner for a lot of people. And The Creator is another movie that might not have been a box office hit, but its visual effects were outstanding. And the question comes to me with my prediction is, has The Creator been able to catch up and pass Godzilla Minus One's hype, and maybe people are giving it more for the more pristine visual effects, or will Godzilla Minus One ride the hype all the way through the award show? For my prediction, I think because the voting started at the end of February, and I think Godzilla Minus One's discussion kind of ended once it stopped being in theaters in the black and white version, I think The Creator is going to come in a surprise and win this category. But don't be surprised if Godzilla Minus One wins. And I just think this is the one that's big up in the air. Nobody has really any contention or precursors you can say is going to win this award. Next award we'll knock out of the way that I think has a pretty big 2-horse race is Best Animated Film. Nominees are Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, The Boy and the Heron, Nimona, Elemental, and Robot Dreams. The 2-horse race is between The Boy and the Heron, which has taken home the BAFTA and a lot of other critic-type animated movie awards, and the frontrunner, per se, winning most of the Annie Awards from the animated side of the art industry is Across the Spider-Verse. I am going to lead towards Boy and the Heron. I just think that this movie has a lot of momentum, with it potentially being Miyazaki's last known movie, per se. I think this will be a chance to crown somebody who's been an influential person in animation throughout the last couple decades, and I think it'll have the more international support to put it over Across the Spider-Verse come Oscar Sunday. Speaking of international support, let's just knock Best International Film out of the way. The nominees here are Io Capitano, Perfect Days, Society of the Snow, The Teacher's Lounge, and The Zone of Interest. Now, this is the one category where I wanted to watch all 5 and I haven't been able to. I really want to see Perfect Days and Io Capitano, but I can say the other 3 in this category I've watched. Great movies. If you see them somewhere, give them a chance. The Zone of Interest, though, is the leading of this one. It's nominated for Best Picture. It's won a lot of awards other places like the BAFTAs for Best British Film. This one's going to be Zone of Interest pretty easy. Now, some other categories that I'm going to go through quickly because I don't have much to say, and I think there's clear favorites. let's do documentary short film, which I think here is going to be the ABCs of book banning. Documentary feature film, I think 20 Days of Miracle is going to win this one. Live action short film, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, and Wes Anderson adaptation, I think did really well. But don't be surprised if Red, White, and Blue does it going in. That was also a pretty powerful short. I got a chance to see that in theaters last month. And for animated short, I think War is Over, inspired by the music of John and Yoko, is very much going to win. But Letter of a Pig is the other one that I think has a pretty high chance, given its more political nature. Just want to get these out of the way. I don't have much to say over them, and just want to get my predictions there. But let's go ahead and start with some of the acting awards. So Best Supporting Actress, your nominees are Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer, American Ferrera for Barbie, Jodie Foster for Nyad, Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers, and Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple. And just like the Oscars where she won and where she's won everywhere else, Divine Joy Randolph has taken this award. If there's ever a free money bet out there you can do, she is the most locked of all locked nominations for the Oscars on Sunday. But not far behind in terms of locks will be whoever is going to win Best Supporting Actor, which you have Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling for Barbie, Sterling K. Brown for American Fiction, Robert De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon, and Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things. And I think here he's won pretty much just like Divine Joy Randolph, everything. Robert Downey Jr. will take home this award, and he's my prediction for Oscar Sunday. Now, going into the Craft Style Awards, makeup and hairstyling is up, and we have nominees Society of the Snow, Oppenheimer, Maestro, Golda, and Poor Things. And to me, this is a two-horse race between Maestro and the amazing makeup work that was done both on Carey Mulligan and especially Bradley Cooper's throughout the whole entire movie, and Poor Things, who had some outstanding hairstyling and makeup that matched that world, but also big prosthetics with Willem Dafoe's character and a lot of the makeup done with Bella Baxter for her throughout. I think this is Maestro's one chance to win, but I don't know. I think Poor Things is going to win in this category, and I'm just going to go with Poor Things here. I think it's going to do very well in craft categories, and makeup and hairstyling will be the first of maybe a couple I'll predict in this video. Best Costume Design nominees are Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Barbie, and Poor Things. Now, this is one where I think Napoleon and Poor Things and Barbie are in a three-horse race. I think Killers of the Flower Moon and Oppenheimer have great costume designs for their set periods, but the other three are the ones that I think have more standout artistic value there. Now, this is one I thought would have been a shoo-in for Barbie in the past, but I think Poor Things is going to pick up another craft award here, and it's taking my prediction for Best Costume Design, despite my personal opinion saying Barbie was better as it won the Oscar earlier this year for me. Best Production Design, you have Killers of the Flower Moon, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and Napoleon. Now, this is one where I think, again, it's Poor Things versus Barbie, and I think Barbie's production design was so outstanding that I'm predicting it to win here as well, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Poor Things win it because it definitely was able to shape their own unique take on the world per se in its own visual aesthetic. So Poor Things has a very high chance of winning production design here, but this one to me, I think it's going to be Barbie's. Best Song, you have The Fire Inside from Flamin' Hot, I'm Just Ken from Barbie, It Never Went Away from American Symphony, Wah Zah Zah Zah, A Song for My People from Killers of the Flower Moon, and What Was I Made For, also from Barbie. Now, this is very much the Barbie category, and is it going to be the more popular in films, song for I'm Just Ken, or will it be What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish, which is probably the better overall song in just terms of quality of music? And because of that, and I think because she won things at the Grammys, and I think Billie Eilish is such a great artist and well-known even in Hollywood, I think What Was I Made For is going to be my prediction for the best song at the Oscars. Now, keeping on the music theme, let's do Best Score. You have Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, American Fiction, and Killers of the Flower Moon. And yes, even though we have another John Williams score in here, one that he really shouldn't have got, but I think the clear runaway here is Ludwig Göransson's score for Oppenheimer. It's really going to be one I think that lives through time. It's one that I think you can listen to in the car, and it just hits that beautiful music beat, and it's just really engaging and is able to help tell that story of Oppenheimer. So it's taking home the win here for best score. Best sound. This is an interesting category. So you have Oppenheimer, The Creator, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Maestro, and The Zone of Interest nominated. Now, The Zone of Interest, you might have not seen it nominated for my international film or best sound here. That's because I didn't see it until 2024, so it didn't get Oscars 2023 nominations, but best believe it'll be in some of these categories for 2024, and I think The Zone of Interest is going to win best sound. Oppenheimer definitely has a chance to take this category, but if there's one thing I will say about The Zone of Interest is the sound is that movie's just crux point per se, and hearing everything that's going on the other side of that wall is so important and is what allows this movie to work, and I think that's why Zone of Interest will take home the best sound Oscar. Best film editing, and nominees are Oppenheimer, Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, and Poor Things. Now, this is one that I think is clearly going to go to Oppenheimer. It's been an awards favorite for pretty much everything. The way that 3-hour movie works comes down to amazing editing and able to transition all those scenes jumbled up in the movie to keep you engaged and to keep the story flowing so well. And Oppenheimer, to me, is a shoo-in to win this category. But look out for like Killers of the Flower Moon, even Anatomy of a Fall. If there is upsets going to happen tonight, film editing is the category you're going to want to look out for. If Oppenheimer doesn't win this one, and you see something like Poor Things, Anatomy, or Killers win, even The Holdovers, put yourself on upset alert for Best Picture, because this is usually one of the categories that you can tell how the Academy is thinking for Best Picture. Now, Best Cinematography, you have Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Poor Things, and El Conde. I think this category, again, is pretty solidly Oppenheimer's. I think the visual look in that movie does very, very well. I do think El Conde and Maestro has really great cinematography. Even Killers of the Flower Moon, I think, has great cinematography. And Poor Things' cinematography really matches its own personal aesthetic very well. But Oppenheimer has been winning the cinematography award everywhere it has a chance. So I think it's going to take it here. But again, another category, if we see Poor Things take this and editing, there's a chance we might have a Poor Things win at the end of the night for Best Picture. Original Screenplay nominees are Anatomy of a Fall, Maestro, Past Lives, The Holdovers, and May December. This is one I think should be easily locked down. Anatomy of a Fall. A lot of people who don't know movies or are familiar with this foreign film from France might not put their prediction on it, but Anatomy of a Fall has an amazing script that really drives this narrative throughout, and is really why it is my favorite for not just winning original screenplay at the Oscars, but it's why it won the original screenplay in my own personal Joshkers. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Past Lives or Holdovers wins, as those are obviously more American-made films, and the voters may not be as adept with international filmmaking. But I do think Anatomy of a Fall branched over very, very well with its nominations, and I see it winning original screenplay here. But again, Holdovers, Past Lives, Anatomy, those are 3 outstanding screenplays for 3 outstanding movies. Adapted screenplay, you have Oppenheimer, Barbie, American Fiction, The Zone of Interest, and Poor Things. This is one where I'm pretty confident, and I've been confident for a while, American Fiction's going to win. The script is the star of that movie, and even though it delivers some great acting performances that we do see nominated in some of the actor categories, I think that script has such great commentary on it that you can relate to, and I think this is its best chance to win an Oscar, just in general. Oppenheimer, I think the script for some people may be too long and too big. Barbie has an outside shot here of winning. There could be a lot of support since Greta Gerwig didn't get the Best Director nomination, but I just think that American Fiction has all the momentum when it comes to screenplay, and I'm locking it in for the Oscar on Sunday. Best Lead Actor. Now, this was a category that was pretty wide open until the SAG Awards came in. You have Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction, Colman Domingo for Rustin, and Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers. Now, Cillian Murphy and Paul Giamatti were the two going up against each other, and Paul Giamatti still may have a chance here to surprise, but with Cillian Murphy winning both SAG and the BAFTAs, I feel like it's Cillian Murphy's award to surprisingly lose. And then, like I said, if Oppenheimer starts losing awards throughout the night and it looks like it might not win Best Picture, maybe there'll be an upset here. But I'm pretty confident that this is going to be Cillian Murphy's Oscar win, and for a role that will be remembered, I think, for many generations to come as Robert Oppenheimer. The most exciting award for the whole entire evening is Best Lead Actress. Nominees: Sandra Hüller from Anatomy of a Fall, Emma Stone from Poor Things, Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon, Annette Bening from Nyad, and Carey Mulligan from Maestro. This is Stone v. Gladstone. Unless some voodoo magic happens and Sandra Hüller pulls out a win, we are truly in a toss-up of two very, very passionate campaigns. Lily Gladstone was able to take home the SAG Award for Best Actress, the Screen Actors Guild, and she delivered a decent speech overall, and that happened right when Oscar windows for voting opened up. Emma Stone won BAFTAs and has won so many other precursors, and I think, in my opinion, as you see here, she won the Oscar. I think her role as Bella Baxter was just outstanding and transformative, and just one that she'll be remembered for with the rest of her life. Now, a few things of reasons why this is maybe more up in the air than I think people are ready for. Emma Stone already has an Oscar, and these awards tend not to award second or third Oscars for individuals so young. Lily Gladstone plays a great performance, and she definitely has that first Native American win campaign, belief in some people, and Lily Gladstone would be worthy of a win that I think helps bring her, has a lot of passion behind it. You also have people anti-Lily Gladstone because she's more of a minor character and what some would call a supporting character. Lily Gladstone didn't even make the nominations for the BAFTA Awards, the British Oscars. So this is the race that is completely tossed up in the air. I have no idea who's going to be drawn. I am going to go with the one that I think will have it'll easily either be number 1 or number 2 in everybody's Oscar ballot voting system, and that is going to be Emma Stone for Poor Things. I think this role and this act, in her acting in this as a true lead, which I do think will affect some Oscar voters, will just give her all the momentum and carry on in votes that will push her above Lily Gladstone and take home her second Oscar in her career, which, again, she's like under 35 years old. So to have 2 Oscars this young, Emma Stone is a superstar. And when you wonder what was Meryl Streep and other actresses like, who are legends now that are older, Emma Stone is your answer. That's what they were like back whenever they were young. Now, the final 2 categories. Best Director. Nominees are going to be Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, Justine Triet for Anatomy of a Fall, Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things, Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon, and Jonathan Glazer for Zone of Interest. And this is going to go to Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, unless something happens and out of nowhere Poor Things or Anatomy of a Fall contends for Best Picture, and we have a Parasite type night. This should be Christopher Nolan's first directing win as an Oscar winner, and maybe even his first overall win as a producer, writer, director, anybody when it comes to the Oscars in his career. And it's one that I think was very long time coming, and it is for a very deserving movie overall. As you can see, I even gave him the Best Director award for my personal award choice for the best of 2023. Now, Best Picture. The nominees for all 10 Best Picture movies, you have Anatomy of a Fall, American Fiction, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. And I have been able to watch all 10 of these movies now multiple times, and I can say this is one of the absolute best batch of Best Picture nominated movies I've ever seen as somebody who's started caring and watching the Oscars. Things like Anatomy of a Fall and Zone of Interest are two outstanding foreign films coming in. Killers of the Flower Moon and Oppenheimer are time period long epics that I think work very, very well. Maestro is your classic biopic that I truly did love and enjoy. I know it gets a lot of hate for people, but I really did enjoy Maestro. Past Lives, American Fiction, just great stories of this, what feels like real people. Barbie was able to just captivate the whole entire country and most of the world when it comes to last summer with great music, with great visuals, with fun acting, and a story and a script that mattered and actually was trying to make an impact. Poor Things, a very similar type of story, but was much more artistic and really delivered a lot more artistically over-the-top performances in a good way. The Holdovers is going to be a Christmas classic. Like, all 10 of these movies are just very good movies I could recommend anybody go out and see. As far as who is my prediction on what's going to win Best Picture, it's going to be Oppenheimer. It's pretty much won the Producers Guild, the Directors Guild, the Acting Guild awards. It's won the BAFTAs. It's won pretty much any award it could be up for with Best Picture. It has that blockbuster feel so that the audience, the regular audience will understand and support it. It's just a very great movie overall. It's going to be Christopher Nolan's, again, his crowning achievement. There really isn't much, competition in a lot of ways that has been able to halt it. I thought for a while maybe like an American Fiction and Anatomy of a Fall could come in once they got all these nominations, then more people saw them. But with all other awards, it really has been Oppenheimer's year, and I will be shocked if it doesn't win Best Picture. But those are my predictions for the Oscars 2024. I am going to be doing my own live stream reaction on Sunday, March 10th. So again, if you want to watch it with somebody and be able to, talk and chat about what's happening with the speeches and everything, give the channel a like and a follow. I'll be live on Sunday. And again, join the group down below and make your own predictions. Whoever has the top prediction scorecard, I am giving a personal shout out to in my Oscar recap video. And once again, if you like this type of content, like and subscribe. I'm doing my best here to be kind of creative and to really bring this channel on to a lot more of a broad conversation piece type stuff. I'm going to be doing by the numbers for the DCEU and a analytical breakdown of how that franchise, now that it's kind of over, ended up. I do short movie reviews for pretty much anything I see in theaters, whether it's movies, and I'm going to start doing TV reviews as well. And I might be producing more long-form reviews and like weekly type, at least for one movie that I see, longer type of review on the channel as well. So if you're looking for that type of stuff, I try to be honest. I try to think about how things are for any type of person when it comes to my recommendations. Just leave a like and subscribe, and hope I see you on Sunday when the Oscars take place on ABC. And let's hope Jimmy Kimmel doesn't kill Matt Damon. Or do we want that to happen?